I want to say something that might make you uncomfortable. And I want you to stay with me, because the discomfort is the point.
Okay.
Working hard is not a virtue. It is a tool. And like every tool, its value depends entirely on whether it is being used correctly.
A hammer used on the wrong material, it produces nothing. Worse than nothing. It damages both the material and the person using it.
And hard work, directed at the wrong thing, without leverage, without strategy, without understanding of how value is actually created in the modern world,
It produces exactly the same result. Exhaustion, frustration, and the bitter, confusing experience of having given everything and received far less than it deserved.
today we make the case. Clearly, completely, in English.
Not the case against effort. Effort is essential. Without genuine effort, nothing is built.
But the case against the belief, the deeply held, rarely examined belief that hard work alone is sufficient. That if you just try harder, stay later, give more, the results will eventually match the effort.
For most people, in most situations, in the world as it actually works, that belief is simply not true.
And the cost of holding it is the cost of a life spent working hard toward the wrong things, without the strategic intelligence that makes hard work actually worth what it costs.
Today, we change that. Stay with us.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Speak Unstoppable, the podcast where we help you speak English naturally and confidently through real, honest conversations.
I'm John.
And I'm Maria. So happy you're here with us today.
This episode is for B1 to B2 learners, intermediate to upper intermediate level English.
And before we go further, if you are not yet subscribed to Speak Unstoppable, please subscribe right now. One tap. We release episodes every week that are designed to change how you think about English, about work, about life. Do not miss them.
Subscribed? Good. Now let's talk about something that almost nobody will say to you directly, but that you absolutely need to hear.
How are you feeling today, John?
Honestly, slightly rebellious. Because this topic challenges something I was taught to believe absolutely. And examining it, honestly, was uncomfortable. And necessary.
Same. Before we continue, thank you, really, for having the courage to examine something this fundamental.
Let's go.
Okay, a question. And I want you to think about it seriously.
What question?
Think about the hardest working person you know. The one who is first in and last out. Who never stops. Who gives everything, every day, with genuine commitment and genuine effort.
And think about their financial and professional position. Honestly,
Is it proportional to their effort? Is what they have built, the security, the income, the options, the life, is it equivalent to the level of work they have invested?
for most people, when they answer this honestly, the answer is no.
The hardest working person they know is not the most financially secure, is not living the life most equivalent to their effort.
And this gap between effort invested and outcome received, it is not a mystery. It is not unfair luck. It is not that the world does not reward hard work.
It is that the world does not reward hard work as much as it rewards specific other things. Things that hard work alone, without these elements, cannot produce.
Today, we identify every one of them. Let's start with the history. Because understanding where a belief comes from It helps us examine whether it still applies.
The belief that hard work is sufficient, that if you work hard enough, the results will come, it was formed in a specific economic era.
An era of industrial production, where value was created through physical labor, where more hours of physical work genuinely produced more output. More output produced more income.
In that era, hard work was directly correlated with production, and production was directly correlated with income. The equation was simple and mostly true.
Correlated means having a mutual relationship. When one increases, the other increases.
But the economy has changed. Fundamentally, the most valuable things in the modern economy are not produced by physical hours of labor.
Intellectual property, platform businesses, network effects, brand, influence, algorithm-driven systems that work while the creator sleeps.
These things, the things that produce the most significant wealth in the modern world, they are not produced by more hours of harder work.
They are produced by leverage, by strategic positioning, by creating something that works without your constant presence.
Leverage means the use of a relatively small force to produce a much larger effect. In business, creating something that produces value beyond the hours you personally invest.
And the person who works hard, relentlessly, loyally, endlessly, within a system that does not provide leverage, they produce exactly the output of their hours. Nothing more. Nothing less.
While the person who works strategically, who identifies and builds leverage into their work, they produce output that compounds, that grows without requiring proportional additional effort.
The effort invested, similar. The outcome, entirely different.
And the difference is not intelligence or talent. It is the presence or absence of strategic thinking about where to direct the effort.
Lesson 1. Hard work in a low-leverage situation produces a linear result. Hard work in a high-leverage situation produces exponential results. The effort level is often identical. The outcome is not.
Okay, if hard work alone is insufficient, what are the things that actually create the outcomes most people are working toward?
5 specific elements, each one more valuable than additional hours of effort. Each one something that strategic thinking produces. Hard work alone does not.
Element 1. Direction.
Working hard in the wrong direction is worse than not working at all, because it produces nothing useful and it exhausts you, leaving you with less capacity to correct course.
Direction means knowing what you are actually trying to achieve and choosing your effort specifically for that destination.
And most people, honestly, are working toward a vague destination. Success, financial security, a better life. These are not directions. They are feelings.
A direction is specific. I want to generate passive income of X amount within 3 years through Y method. Specific, measurable, directed.
And effort directed at a specific destination, it produces results that vague effort never can. Because you can evaluate whether you are moving toward it, and adjust if you are not.
Element 2. Leverage.
We described leverage above. But let's make it concrete.
Leverage in career terms. Building skills that are rare and valuable rather than common and replaceable. being the person who can do something that few people can do. At the level, you can do it.
Because common skills, however applied with hard work, produce common compensation. Rare skills, even without extreme hard work, produce disproportionate compensation. Because supply is low and demand is high.
Leverage in business terms. Creating a product, a system, or a platform that can serve many people simultaneously, without requiring your personal presence for each one.
The consultant who works with one client at a time, trading hours for money, works hard and earns proportionally.
The consultant who creates a course, a framework, a tool, a system that serves hundreds of clients with the same underlying intellectual work earns disproportionately, because the leverage multiplies the return on each hour invested.
Element 3. Positioning.
Positioning means where you are in a market, in an organization, in a network. Being in the right place, where your contribution is most visible, most valued, most rewarded.
Two people with identical skills. One is positioned where their skills are visible to decision makers. One is not.
The first gets the opportunities, the recognition, the advancement.
The second works equally hard and wonders why the recognition does not match the effort.
Position matters. And strategic positioning, deliberately placing yourself where your contribution can be seen and valued, it is often more important than the quality of the contribution itself.
This is uncomfortable to accept, but it is consistently true.
Element 4. Relationships.
Your network is your net worth. This is a cliche because it is consistently true.
The opportunities that most significantly change professional trajectories, they almost always come through relationships, through someone who knows your work, who trusts your judgment, who thinks of you when an opportunity appears.
And relationships, genuine, mutually valuable relationships, they are not built by working harder at your desk. They are built by investing time in the people who can create opportunities and being genuinely useful to them.
Not transactional, genuine, over time, without immediate expectation.
But with the understanding that, in the long run, the relationships you invest in are among the highest return investments available.
Element 5. Timing.
Being in the right place, with the right skills, at the right moment, it is not luck. Not entirely. It is the product of paying attention to where things are moving and positioning yourself in that direction before most people see it.
The industries, the skills, the opportunities that are growing, they reward early movers disproportionately.
And identifying them before they are obvious requires strategic thinking, not harder work in the direction you are already pointing. Okay, let's get even more specific, because there are 3 specific traps that hard work, without strategy, consistently produces. And most people are in at least one of them right now.
Trap 1. The busyness trap.
Being busy is not the same as being productive. Being occupied is not the same as making progress.
And hard work, when it is rewarded with more work, more responsibility, more demands, without corresponding increase in compensation or leverage, it becomes a trap.
The more I do, the more is expected of me, and the more that is expected, the more I must do. And the cycle continues without producing proportional advancement.
This is the busyness trap. And the exit, counterintuitively, is not working harder. It is stopping. assessing, and deliberately choosing which hard work to do.
Not all hard work has equal value, and spending equal effort on low-value and high-value tasks is one of the most expensive mistakes a professional can make.
Trap 2. The loyalty trap.
The belief that sustained loyalty, staying long, giving much, demonstrating commitment over years, will eventually be rewarded proportionally.
And sometimes it is. Some organizations genuinely reward loyalty with advancement, security, and compensation.
But many, most in the modern economy, reward performance and leverage and positioning over loyalty. Because they are operating in competitive markets where what matters is output, not tenure.
And the person who waits for loyalty to be rewarded in an organization that does not value it waits a very long time while working very hard for a return that never materializes in the proportion expected.
Trap 3. The perfectionism trap.
Hard workers, conscientious, committed, standards-driven hard workers, they are particularly vulnerable to this one.
The belief that if you just do this thing better, make it more complete, more polished, more thorough, the result will eventually be recognized and rewarded.
But in most competitive environments, speed and direction matter more than perfection. The person who ships a good product faster, who gets their idea to market sooner, who applies for the opportunity before it closes, often wins over the person who produces something perfect too late.
Done is better than perfect, this English expression. It describes one of the most important strategic insights for hard workers who have fallen into the perfectionism trap.
Not do bad work, but complete work that is good enough to test, to submit, to share, and then improve based on real feedback, rather than working endlessly toward a perfection that the market will evaluate differently than you imagine.
Okay, because this episode is not an argument for laziness or for abandoning effort.
It is an argument for directed effort, strategic effort, effort invested with intelligence about where it actually produces the outcomes you want.
And smart work, as opposed to hard work alone, has specific characteristics.
Characteristic 1. It is regularly evaluated.
Smart workers pause regularly, weekly, monthly, and ask, is this effort producing results proportional to its cost? Is this direction still the right one? What would I do differently if I were starting today?
These questions, asked honestly and regularly, they allow the worker to course correct before the wrong direction has consumed years.
Characteristic 2, it builds something that compounds.
Every hour of smart work builds something that makes the next hour more productive, a skill that compounds, a relationship that grows, a reputation that opens doors, a system that reduces the effort required to produce the same output.
Versus effort that is consumed entirely in the day it is invested, with nothing accumulated.
Smart work builds. Hard work alone often simply consumes.
Characteristic 3, it is positioned for recognition.
Smart work happens where it can be seen, where the people who determine outcomes have visibility into it, where its value can be assessed and rewarded.
Not invisible effort in the background, however excellent, but excellent effort in places where excellence is noticed.
Characteristic 4. It leverages other resources.
The smart worker does not try to do everything themselves. They identify what they uniquely contribute and leverage other people's skills, tools, systems, and time for everything else.
Delegation. Collaboration. Technology. These are not shortcuts from hard work. They are multipliers of the hard work that matters most.
Characteristic 5. It is sustainable.
Hard work that cannot be sustained, that burns the worker out, that consumes health, relationships, and mental capacity, it is ultimately unproductive. Because the worker who breaks down produces nothing after the breakdown.
Smart work is calibrated. It is demanding when demand produces proportional results. And it protects the capacity to work effectively over decades, not just years.
Okay, real English phrases. For talking about smart work, leverage, positioning, and strategic effort in professional and everyday contexts.
Category 1. Describing smart versus hard work.
I'm trying to be more intentional about where I direct my effort, not just how much effort I give.
There's a difference between being busy and being productive. I'm working on making that distinction clearer in my own work.
I've been thinking about leverage, about which of my activities actually compound over time versus which ones consume effort without building anything.
Category 2. Talking about positioning and strategy.
I'm thinking carefully about visibility, making sure the work I'm most proud of is seen by the people who determine what happens next.
I've been investing in relationships that will open opportunities I cannot currently access, not transactionally, but genuinely.
The direction I'm working in, I review it regularly to make sure it is still the right direction, not just the familiar one.
Category 3. Challenging the hard work narrative.
Hard work is necessary, but not sufficient. I'm working on the sufficient part.
I used to think working longer was working harder. I'm learning that the most productive thing I can do sometimes is stop and think about what I'm doing.
I've realized that what I choose not to do, the tasks and opportunities I decline, is as important as what I choose to do.
These phrases, they describe a sophisticated relationship with effort and work. And in English, speaking about these ideas clearly and specifically, it marks you as someone who thinks at a higher level about professional life. Can I say what this is really about, underneath all of the strategy?
Please.
Hard work, as a value, as an identity, as something you are, it is deeply emotionally connected for most people. It feels like virtue, like character, like proof of worthiness.
And challenging it, even gently, even with clear evidence, it feels like an attack on character. Like suggesting that working hard is wrong.
But that is not what we are saying. Not at all.
What we are saying is that hard work, disconnected from strategy, disconnected from direction, disconnected from leverage and positioning, it is incomplete. And its incompleteness costs people enormously.
Not because they are lazy, not because they do not care, but because they were given half the equation and told it was the whole one.
The full equation, effort plus direction plus leverage plus positioning plus relationship plus timing, that is what produces the outcomes most hard workers are actually working toward.
And for English learners, this is one of the most directly applicable lessons I know.
Working hard at English. Spending hours with material that does not challenge you at the right level. Practicing the same things without deliberate direction. Listening without producing.
It produces less than it should. Not because the effort is wrong, because the strategy is missing.
Smart English practice. Directed, leveraged, positioned correctly for your specific goals It produces fluency in a fraction of the time that unfocused hard work requires.
Direct your effort. In English, in your career, in everything that matters to you.
Remember this: hard work is the engine. Strategy is the steering wheel. Without the wheel, the engine only takes you faster in the wrong direction.
Say it again.
Hard work is the engine. Strategy is the steering wheel. Without the wheel, the engine only takes you faster in the wrong direction.
Build both. Together. Starting today.
Word tour time.
Word 1. Leverage. The use of a smaller input to produce a disproportionately larger output. Using resources, systems, or positioning to multiply the effect of effort. Example 1. She built leverage into her career by creating a framework that could serve hundreds of clients, not just the ones she worked with directly. Example 2. English fluency is leverage. It multiplies the professional value of every other skill you have by making it accessible to a global market.
Build leverage. In your career, in your English, look for the activities that compound, that produce more than the hours invested, that open more than the immediate opportunity they represent.
Word 2. Correlated. Having a mutual relationship where changes in one thing are associated with changes in another. Example 1. In the industrial era, hours worked and income were tightly correlated. In the knowledge economy, they often are not. Example 2. English practice hours and fluency are correlated, but the quality and direction of the practice matters as much as the quantity.
Examine your correlations. What do you assume is connected in your professional life? Is it actually? The assumptions you have never examined, they are often the most expensive ones.
Word 3. Exponential. Growing or increasing rapidly, each unit of increase producing more increase than the last. Compounding growth. Example 1. Hard work in a leveraged position produces exponential results. Each effort builds on what came before. Example 2. English vocabulary compounds exponentially. Each word learned makes the next one easier because of the connections it creates.
Think exponentially about your effort. Which activities compound? Which are consumed entirely? Invest more in the compounding ones.
Word 4. Tenure. The period of time someone holds a position or role. Length of service. Example 1. Tenure in an organization that does not reward it produces loyalty without return, a costly form of hard work. Example 2. English tenure. Years spent in passive exposure without active production produces comprehension but not fluency. Active production is what compounds.
Evaluate your tenures. In positions. In English habits. Is the time invested producing proportional returns? And if not, what needs to change?
Word 5. Calibrated. Adjusted carefully for accuracy. Set to produce exactly the right output. Example 1. Smart work is calibrated. It is demanding when demand produces results and deliberately paced when rest produces more than continued effort. Example 2. Calibrated English practice, knowing exactly what level of challenge produces the fastest growth, is more effective than maximal effort at any level.
Calibrate your effort. In your career. In your English. Not more effort, better directed effort. Not harder, more precisely aimed.
Word 6. Sufficient. Enough. Meeting the requirement, not requiring anything additional. Example 1. Hard work is necessary but not sufficient. It is a required input, but alone it does not produce the outcomes most people are working toward. Example 2. B1 English is sufficient for many professional interactions, but the goal of this podcast is to make your English not just sufficient, but genuinely effective and natural.
Examine what is sufficient and what requires additional elements in your professional life and in your English. Knowing the difference between necessary and sufficient changes how you invest your effort.
One thing this week.
This week, do a direction audit. Just 30 minutes. In writing.
Write your answers to 3 questions.
Question 1. What is the specific outcome I am working toward right now? Not vague, specific.
Question 2. Is the hard work I am currently doing actually directed at that outcome? Or is it busy work that feels productive but moves me in a different direction?
Question 3. What is one thing I could do this week that builds leverage, that produces return beyond the hours I invest in it?
30 minutes. 3 questions. Honest answers.
And here is your sentence template for today.
I am working hard on underscore, underscore, underscore. But the strategic question I need to answer is underscore, underscore. And the higher leverage action I am going to take this week is underscore, underscore, underscore.
Say it now, out loud, with your real work situation in mind.
I am working hard on underscore, underscore, underscore. But the strategic question I need to answer is underscore, underscore. And the higher leverage action I am going to take this week is underscore, underscore, underscore.
Fill in honest answers. And then act on the third one. This week.
Comment challenge time.
1 question. And the most honest one we have asked today.
Is there an area of your life, professional or personal, where you are working very hard and producing less than the effort deserves? And what do you think the missing strategic element is?
Right. I am working hard on underscore, underscore, score, underscore. The missing strategic element might be underscore, underscore, underscore. And this week, I am going to underscore, underscore, score.
Write it. In English. In the comments. With real honesty.
We read every comment.
Please give this a like.
Subscribe to Speak Unstoppable.
Thank you for being here.
Hard work is the engine.
Strategy is the steering wheel.
Build both.
Together.
Starting today.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.